You know, people are complicated. Sometimes we have the misconception that in order for a woman to fall in love with us, we got to make her completely happy. We have to give her everything that she wants, and we have to make her feel some sort of positive emotion. And even though that's 100% true, when we really observe, when me and you observe the people that we actually love, we tend to notice that what creates the love for them is not an excess of positive emotions. It really isn't. What really causes us to fall in love with people is the potential to feel pain at losing them. And that comes down to being able to feel vulnerable.
When we are deeply in love, it is not uncommon to experience feelings of paranoia or fear of losing our partners. This emotional response can be attributed to both neurological and psychological factors. Neurologically, the brain's amygdala, which plays a key role in processing emotions, can become hyperactive in romantic love. This heightened amygdala activity triggers a heightened state of alertness and vigilance, making us more sensitive to potential threats or losses. Additionally, the brain releases oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone, which strengthens the bond between partners, but can also intensify feelings of possessiveness and the fear of losing that connection. Psychologically, our attachment styles and past experiences can contribute to this fear of loss. Individuals with an anxious attachment style may be more prone to feeling paranoid due to their deep desire for closeness and fear of abandonment. Past experiences of loss or rejection can also influence our perception of current relationships, leading to increased vigilance and anxiety. Furthermore, societal narratives around love and the belief that love is scarce or fleeting can further fuel these insecurities.
If a woman cannot feel vulnerable around you, if a woman cannot feel, if she does not understand that not having you will cause her to feel horrible, if a woman cannot think of losing you and not feel some form of dread, she can never love you. Because that's the prerequisite for every type of love that we have for other people. The reason, one of the costs of loving an animal, loving your dog, is the vulnerable feeling that we feel when we think of them eventually dying. One of the reasons why we love our parents, or one of the things that causes us to love our parents more, is the vulnerable feeling knowing that one day they're gonna die.
Psychologically, human beings tend to take things for granted when they are readily available or consistently present in our lives. This concept is known as emotional complacency. When our partners are constantly attentive, supportive, and always there for us, we may begin to unconsciously assume that their presence is a given, becoming less aware of the love and connection we share. We become comfortable in the relationship, and the feeling of love may fade into the background. However, when faced with the threat of separation or loss, our emotions are abruptly jolted back to the forefront. The fear of losing someone we care about triggers a cascade of intense emotions, including anxiety, sadness, and regret. This emotional upheaval serves as a wake-up call, reminding us of the love we have, the value of the relationship, and the importance of our partner. From a neurological standpoint, this experience can be explained by the brain's response to novelty and uncertainty. Our brains naturally seek out new stimuli and experiences as they activate the reward and pleasure centers associated with dopamine release. When a relationship reaches a certain level of stability, the novelty factor diminishes, and the brain's response to our partner's presence becomes less pronounced. However, when faced with the prospect of separation or loss, the brain perceives this situation as a threat to our social bonds. In response, it triggers a surge of stress hormones such as cortisol, which heightens our emotional sensitivity and increases our desire to preserve the relationship. This sudden surge of emotions acts as a powerful reminder of the love and connection we share with our partner. It is important to note that this pattern of realization does not necessarily apply to everyone or every relationship. Each individual and relationship is unique, and the experience of recognizing love after a potential loss can vary.
And people who are not vulnerable will never love anyone. People who don't accept that one day this person will inflict pain that's beyond measure. That person will never love anybody. And it's not, and I repeat, let me be very clear about this. You are not being abusive. You are not intentionally hurting people. That is not the message here. Get this straight, all right? The message that I'm trying to tell you is that if the woman that you're with does not miss you in your absence, if the thought of you leaving her doesn't cause her to shed a tear, if the thought of you being with another woman and leaving her does not cause intense dread and fear, this woman can never love you.
The people we love have the potential to hurt us deeply because of the emotional investment and vulnerability that comes with those relationships. When we love someone, we open ourselves up to them, allowing them to see our true selves, including our weaknesses and insecurities. This vulnerability creates a strong emotional bond, but it also leaves us susceptible to pain. Firstly, the expectations we have for our loved ones can contribute to the potential for hurt. We naturally have certain expectations of how our loved ones should behave, treat us, and meet our needs. When these expectations are not met, it can lead to disappointment, frustration, and even heartache. Secondly, close relationships often involve a deeper level of emotional interdependence. This means that the actions or words of our loved ones have a significant impact on our emotions. When someone we love hurts us intentionally or unintentionally, it can be particularly painful because their actions or words directly affect our emotional well-being.
All right, guys, we're going to have a brief intermission so that I can tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing, where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my full dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club video that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at $238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared, because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.
Because in order to love someone, you have to be able to suffer a little bit at least. But if the thought of losing the person brings you happiness, brings you relaxation, causes you to feel indifferent where you don't care if you lose them, then does this person really love you deep down? They don't. Because what causes us to hold on to things, to value things, is the knowledge that one day this will cause us suffering. So that's why if you go on vacation and she's happy about it, that's problematic. That's why if your woman is not trying to get your attention consistently, it means there's something wrong. Because whenever you love someone, there's some anxiety behind love. That's just how it is. And if your absence, if you're pulling away, if your unavailability is supposed to cause her to feel some form of stress, some form of pain, just like the absence of somebody that you love causes you to feel that. So it's not about whether or not she's happy, whether or not you give her this or that, whether or not she feels love for you. It's whether or not she is consciously aware of the vulnerability that she has as a result of loving you. And how do people experience that vulnerability? Well, men and women experience that vulnerability through the reminders that we give people. In other words, maybe you can't see her this week and you have to cancel the meetup that you and her have. That natural cancellation, because eventually you're gonna cancel something. I mean, let's just keep it honest with you. Eventually you're gonna cancel something. Eventually you're gonna hurt her, intentionally or unintentionally. That's just life. You're gonna disappoint her one day. That's just life. One day you're gonna have to go to work and not go on a date with her because you have too much work to do. That's just life. And if you allow life to get in between you and her, in other words, if you don't resist the fact that you can't see her that day because you're busy with work, and you are responsible enough to say, you know what, baby, I love you, but I can't see you today because I'm busy with work, that will naturally bring her a sense of disappointment. But if you're so needy, if you're so afraid of losing her, that the thought of you canceling a date because you got work causes fear and anxiety, then you're not allowing her to feel vulnerable. You're allowing yourself to feel vulnerable, and you will end up loving her more, but she won't end up loving you as much because she feels less vulnerable. And again, what's vulnerability? Vulnerability is the knowledge, the acknowledgement that you have some control over me. It's the acknowledgement that I give you some control. Is that I will consciously love you while knowing that one day this end of this relationship will cause me intense pain. That is what it is to be vulnerable. And unfortunately, when we like people, when we like a girl, we tend to be so needy that we never let them feel that vulnerability. We never let them feel that natural, because it is natural, that natural vulnerability that everyone feels when we fall in love. Because usually when you realize you love someone, is when they let you feel vulnerable. Is when they don't call you back. Is when they are feeling doubtful about being with you, or is when they're too busy to be with you and you feel a flood of emotions that you feel uncomfortable. And when you feel those emotions, you say to yourself, oh my God, this woman is making me feel so insecure. It has to mean that I love her. And that's what usually happens. If a woman cannot ruin your day at the fact that she cannot see you, it means you don't love her that much. If you cannot ruin her day at the fact that you cannot see her, it means she doesn't love you. And that's why these strategies exist. They don't exist to manipulate people. You don't pull away just to manipulate her emotions. I don't think so. You pull away because, one, maybe something did come up. And two, people need to fear your absence in order to trigger that love. And if you're too insecure that you can never give her space, my man, she's never gonna love you. That's just how that works, bro. You know? So allow, if she's not vulnerable to those intense emotions that we all dread, then she will never be able to love you. And if you want to learn how to create this type of love in a woman, check out my course. It's called Dark Game, but it's not really dark. It's really just strategies that will teach any guy how to attract the type of woman that they like. Or they could purchase my other courses, the Nice Guy, or I have a new course called, what's it called? I mean, it's a course I'm developing, Charisma. You could purchase that, or you could purchase all of my courses, the Nice Guy, Dark Game, all in the bundle by clicking on the description down below. Okay? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org and I'll work with you one-on-one. Take care.